Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on my all-new home yoga practice sessions called On This Mat with Shivani. The first series is called the Body Positivity series. Let's begin with episode number 2. In this series, you will need the following props: a yoga bolster, yoga bricks, yoga blankets, a cotton yoga belt, rolled yoga mat. Let's begin by lying down on this mat and finding ourselves closer to the earth with a nice padded blanket under our neck to relax us. Always begin by seeing how the breath cycles are, by feeling a sense of ease, by lengthening your exhalations. Once you feel a sense of comfort, take this yoga bolster, lift your hip up and gently slide the bolster under your hip, under your tailbone. Now keeping your left leg active and straight, bring your right knee towards the chest. Holding on to your knee from behind, you can pull that knee towards your chest. With each exhalation, you can draw that slowly closer to your body. A very important cue in this would be what is happening with the leg that's straight. We tend to make it a little deactive. So to activate it, what you need to do is plant that heel onto the mat and press your upper thigh down and keep it alert. As you draw your knee towards the chest, keep focusing on your exhalations. Once again, 6 to 8 breath cycles for a beginner is good enough. Gently release, moving on to the other side. Bringing your left knee towards your chest, keeping your right leg active, pressing on to the right thigh and your right heel nicely grounded onto that mat. Holding and breathing. As you draw both your legs towards your chest or your knees towards your chest, open them wide and come into the happy baby pose to open your hips. As you draw your knees away from each other, bring your feet up towards the ceiling. You can hold on to the leg from your inner thigh or your calves, whatever you're comfortable with. The only thing you have to make sure about is that your shoulders are resting well on the floor. Now, while you're exhaling, you have to do a certain traction in the body where you have to draw your knees towards the floor. So there's a slight diagonal angle towards the knees, which are not drawing into the chest, but actually into the floor. This beauty of a pose will help you open those tight hips and feel mentally and emotionally very relaxed instantly. Staying in the posture for a good 1 minute, focusing on deep, soft, smooth exhalations. Moving on to the next posture, you bring your feet onto the floor comfortably. That bolster is still resting to give you a beautiful padding under your hips so anyone with a lower back stiffness can feel very, very at ease. And the last 2 postures are attempted to open that stiffness. Working on the hamstrings now, which tug onto your lower back always. You keep your left foot bent or your left knee bent comfortably. Draw your right knee towards your chest and loop that belt behind the sole of your foot, lengthening the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can now lengthen the left leg out as well. And remember, like posture number 1, keep your left leg active and your heel grounded well onto that mat, pushing your left upper thigh down. Now gently draw your right set of toes in so that the back skin of the entire hamstring is getting lengthened. This beauty, when done 10 days in a row, can really loosen up the lower back. Supta Padangusthasana with the belt, with a bolster to support the lower back and the hip. 6 to 8 breath cycles, 12 to 15 breath cycles, do whatever you're comfortable with. Gently release that leg, bring both your feet onto the mat again with your knees bent, and let's move on to the other side. You draw your left knee towards the chest and loop the belt behind the sole of the foot. Now lengthen the right leg out while you're drawing your left leg up to the ceiling. Follow the cues. Stay alert. When we are holding our belt in Supta Padangusthasana, we tend to lift our shoulders off the mat. That would be incorrect. So, a good tip for this is to lower your hands and hold the belt from a low angle, making sure that the shoulders are planted comfortably onto the floor. Don't tug on your belt and don't hold it too tight. And ease into the posture with a good opening in the chest. Whenever you're ready to move out of the posture, release and drop your legs and feet onto the floor. The next posture is again moving into a nice hip opener. So the aim really is to cross one leg on the other and then gently lift your knee to your chest, hold on to the back of the knee. And in case that's not working, then you have a belt to aid this process. Whenever you feel that your shoulders are lifting up too much, you use a belt. So using that belt, opening the shoulder, now you gently draw your knee towards your chest. And we often tend to close the other knee. What we do is taking our palm, pushing our thigh, we open that knee out. Staying in the posture for a good minute, synchronizing your breath, releasing and moving on to the other side. I'm pretty sure you've understood the importance of that bolster under your hip by now. Let's continue to bring some great prana and blood back into our legs. With your bent legs, now lift them up nicely towards the ceiling in a good 90-degree angle. And you're going to hold this posture for a good 2 minutes. Your chest open, a simple relaxation posture, but yet doing so much work. It relaxes the hip, your legs. You can now feel good inhalations and exhalations in your chest and in your abdomen. With each exhalation, soften your tummy. Draw the navel towards the spine. Stay in it. From here, you have to simply bend your knees and lengthen your legs straight onto the mat, keeping that bolster where it is. This beautiful inversion that we call, because the hip is higher than the head if you notice, will help relax your mind tremendously. You'll feel a good length in that pelvic area. So breathe in and out, exhaling and relaxing those long muscles there. Feel a sense of continuation between the torso and the legs through that pelvic socket by loosening the muscles with your breath. You can keep your feet relaxed or active depending on whatever the mood of the day is. Whenever you're ready, let's move into the final relaxation of Shavasana. To relax the lower back, always remember, put a height behind your knees. So simply slide that bolster from under your hip to under your knee, keeping that blanket for your neck. You're now going to move into that deep relaxation for 3 to 5 minutes, and your only focus at the end of every practice session is how comfortably you keep focusing on your breath. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. For regular video updates, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel and of course press the bell icon. You could also follow me on my Instagram and Facebook handles. And do remember, this is real yoga for real people.